Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Sab, full-time telemedicine family physician licensed in all 50 states, and today we're tackling a topic that's fundamentally reshaping what it means to practice medicine in the 21st century. I'm talking about the world of telemedicine. Are you a physician feeling stuck in the grind of traditional practice? Maybe you're feeling the early signs of burnout, weighed down by endless paperwork, rigid schedules, and the overwhelming administrative burden that seems to pull you further and further away from what you actually love doing, caring for patients. You went through years of grueling training, not to manage bureaucracy, but to make a real, tangible difference in people's lives. If that sounds familiar, you are absolutely not alone. This feeling is a common thread in conversations I have with colleagues every single day. Many of you are looking for a change, a way to reclaim your passion for medicine while also achieving a better work-life balance. You're searching for more flexibility, more autonomy, and frankly, more control over your own career and life. The traditional path of medicine, while noble, often feels like a one-size-fits-all model that doesn't account for individual aspirations or modern lifestyles. You might be dreaming of working from home, having the freedom to travel, or simply spending more quality time with your family without sacrificing your professional identity. The good news is, there's a powerful alternative that's not just a fleeting trend, but a legitimate and growing field of practice. It's an opportunity to redefine your career on your own terms. This video is for you. It's a comprehensive guide designed specifically for physicians like you who are contemplating a transition into full-time, faceless telemedicine. We're going to break down the entire process, step by step, from the initial considerations to building a thriving and sustainable virtual practice. I want to demystify the entire journey, addressing the common fears and uncertainties that hold so many talented doctors back. We'll cover everything from navigating the complexities of multi-state licensure to mastering the art of the virtual patient exam. This isn't just about theory, it's about providing a practical, actionable roadmap that you can start implementing right away. My goal here is to empower you with the knowledge, the tools, and the confidence you need to make this transition successfully. Whether you're just starting to explore the idea, or you've already made up your mind and just need a clear plan, you're in the right place. We're going to explore how you can build a fulfilling and financially rewarding career in telemedicine, all while maintaining the highest standards of patient care. This is about creating a future where you can be both an excellent physician and a happier, more balanced individual. So let's dive in and explore how you can become a leader in this exciting new frontier of healthcare. Let's start with the big picture. Telemedicine is absolutely booming. What was once considered a niche or futuristic concept has rapidly evolved into a mainstream pillar of our healthcare system. And this isn't just a temporary shift driven by recent global events. It's a fundamental transformation powered by advancements in technology, changing patient expectations, and a growing recognition of its immense benefits. Patients now value convenience and accessibility more than ever. They love the ability to consult with their doctor from the comfort of their own home, avoiding long commutes, crowded waiting rooms, and the hassle of taking time off work. This patient-driven demand is a powerful force that is ensuring telemedicine's continued growth and integration into standard care pathways. For us, as physicians, this revolution offers an unprecedented opportunity. The benefits extend far beyond just a change of scenery. Imagine a practice where your overhead costs are drastically reduced. No more paying exorbitant rent for a large clinic space, managing a large administrative staff, or dealing with the constant logistical challenges of a physical office. This financial efficiency allows you to focus your resources on what truly matters, patient care and your own professional development. You can run a lean, agile practice that is not only more profitable, but also less stressful to manage on a day-to-day basis, freeing up both capital and mental energy. Beyond the financial advantages, the most profound benefit for many physicians is the incredible flexibility and improved work-life balance. Telemedicine allows you to design a schedule that fits your life, not the other way around. You can set your own hours, decide how many patients you want to see, and create a work environment that is tailored to your personal needs. This autonomy is a powerful antidote to the burnout that plagues our profession. It's the freedom to attend your child's school play, take a midday break for a workout, or even travel without completely disconnecting from your practice. This is about reclaiming control over your time and your life. This newfound freedom also opens the door to a more diverse and fulfilling career. With the geographical barriers removed, you can reach patients in underserved rural areas or specialize in a niche field with a national patient base. You're no longer limited by the population of your local town or city. This expansion of your potential patient pool can make your work more interesting, more challenging, and ultimately more rewarding. You can build a practice that truly aligns with your clinical interests and passions, creating a career that is both sustainable and deeply satisfying for years to come. It's a chance to practice medicine on a broader, more impactful scale. So, the benefits are clear, compelling, and genuinely life-changing for many physicians. But let's be realistic, successfully transitioning from a traditional brick-and-mortar practice to a fully remote digital one doesn't happen by accident. It's not as simple as just turning on a webcam and waiting for patients to appear in your virtual waiting room. Making this leap requires careful thought, meticulous planning, and a strategic approach. You have to treat this transition with the same level of seriousness and dedication that you apply to your medical training. It's about building a new type of business, a new brand, and a new way of delivering care. First, you need to fundamentally shift your mindset. Practicing telemedicine effectively involves more than just replicating your in-person workflow on a screen. It requires developing new skills in virtual communication, learning to build rapport through a camera, and becoming adept at conducting thorough assessments without the benefit of a physical hands-on exam. You have to become a master of guided questions, observation, and leveraging technology to gather the clinical information you need. This is a new clinical art form, and like any skill, it requires practice, patience, and a commitment to continuous learning to truly master. Next, you have to consider the business and logistical infrastructure. This means navigating a complex web of legal, regulatory, and technological requirements. You need to understand the specific telehealth laws in every state where you plan to practice, ensure your chosen technology platform is secure, and IPA compliant, and figure out the intricacies of billing and coding for virtual services. These are not minor details, they are the foundational pillars upon which your entire virtual practice will be built. Overlooking any one of these can lead to significant legal and financial consequences down the road, so diligence is key. Ultimately, success in this space is about being proactive and intentional. You can't just dip your toes in the water and hope for the best. You need a solid plan. A roadmap that guides you through each critical step, from obtaining the right licenses and credentials to marketing your new virtual practice and building a steady stream of patients. This guide is designed to be that roadmap. We will break down each of these components into manageable, actionable steps to ensure you're not just surviving in the world of telemedicine, but truly thriving. This is your blueprint for building a successful and sustainable career. All right, let's talk about one of the biggest and often most intimidating hurdles for physicians aspiring to build a national telemedicine practice: licensure. In the traditional model, you typically hold a license in the one state where your physical practice is located. It's relatively straightforward. But in the world of telemedicine, the patient's location, not yours, dictates the legal requirements. This means that to legally treat a patient residing in another state, you must be licensed to practice medicine in that specific state. This single rule creates a significant administrative and financial barrier for doctors wanting to expand their reach beyond their home state's borders. Imagine the process. If you wanted to practice in, say, 10 different states, you would traditionally have to go through 10 separate, full-length application processes. Each state medical board has its own unique set of requirements, its own lengthy forms, its own specific documentation needs, and, of course, its own set of fees. This process is not only incredibly time-consuming and mind-numbingly repetitive, but the costs can also add up very quickly. We're talking thousands of dollars in application fees alone, not to mention the time and effort spent gathering transcripts, verifying credentials, and completing background checks over and over again. This fragmented, state-by-state system is a major source of frustration and a significant deterrent for many highly qualified physicians. It creates a complex patchwork of regulations that can feel like a labyrinth designed to slow you down. The administrative burden can be so overwhelming that it makes the prospect of a multi-state practice seem almost impossible, forcing many doctors to limit their services and, consequently, their impact. This is a systemic inefficiency that not only hinders physician autonomy, but also limits patient access to care, particularly for those in rural or underserved areas who could benefit most from a national pool of specialists. This is precisely the problem that the Interstate Medical Licensure Compact, or IMLCC, was created to solve. The IMLCC is a game-changing agreement among participating states designed to significantly streamline the licensing process for physicians who wish to practice in multiple states. It's an elegant solution to a very cumbersome problem. Instead of forcing you to navigate the bureaucratic maze of each individual state board, the compact provides an expedited pathway to licensure. It's one of the most important developments in telemedicine regulation, and understanding how it works is absolutely crucial for any physician serious about building a successful, wide-reaching virtual practice. So, how does this compact actually work? Think of it as a trusted traveler program like TSA PreCheck, but for medical licensing. It allows state medical boards to rely on the comprehensive vetting and credentialing work already performed by a physician's home state, or what the IMLCC calls the state of principal licensure. If you hold an unrestricted license in a participating state and meet a set of clear eligibility requirements, you can use the IMLCC to obtain separate licenses in other participating states much more quickly and efficiently than you could through the traditional individual application process. The process begins by applying to the IMLCC through your state of principal licensure. This state's medical board will verify your eligibility, which includes things like having a clean disciplinary record and having passed all components of the USM, LE or COM, LEX within 3 attempts. Once your SPL verifies your qualifications, they send a letter of qualification to the IMLCC. From there, you can select which of the other participating states you'd like to be licensed in. The IMLCC then transmits your information and qualification letter to those states, and they in turn issue you a full, unrestricted license. The beauty of this system is its efficiency. What used to take months of paperwork, endless follow-ups, and significant stress can now often be completed in a matter of weeks. The IMLCC has created a standardized, streamlined application that eliminates the redundant and time-consuming aspects of the old system. You fill out one primary application and pay one set of fees to the compact, plus the individual licensing fees for each state you choose. This dramatically reduces the administrative workload, saving you an incredible amount of time, energy, and frustration. It's a truly transformative tool. By leveraging the IMLCC, you can strategically and efficiently expand your practice into multiple states, unlocking a much larger patient population and significantly increasing your earning potential. This isn't just about convenience. It's a powerful strategic advantage. It allows you to focus less on bureaucratic red tape and more on what you were trained to do, providing excellent care to patients. The IMLCC is your key to breaking down geographical barriers and building the national telemedicine practice you've been dreaming of, allowing you to spend more time seeing patients and less time buried in paperwork. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the stuff that can feel like a huge roadblock when you're dreaming of a telemedicine career. I'm talking about licensure. In traditional medicine, it's straightforward. You get a license in the state where your hospital or clinic is located, and you're good to go. But when your practice is virtual, your location is wherever your patient is. This means if you want to see a patient who lives in a different state, you legally need a license to practice medicine in their state. Imagine trying to get licensed in 10, 20, or even all 50 states individually. The paperwork, the fees, the different requirements, it would be an absolute administrative nightmare, a full-time job in itself. This single issue, the challenge of multi-state licensure, is often what stops talented physicians from even considering a full-time telemedicine path. The complexity can feel overwhelming, and the potential costs can seem prohibitive before you've even seen your first virtual patient. Each state has its own medical board, its own set of rules, its own application process, and its own renewal cycle. Keeping track of all of this, ensuring you're compliant everywhere, and paying separate fees for each license can quickly eat up the time and money you were hoping to save by switching to telemedicine in the first place. It's a significant barrier to entry, and frankly, it's a system that wasn't designed for the modern, interconnected world of healthcare. But here's the good news, the medical community recognized this problem. They saw that these old-fashioned, state-by-state rules were hindering the growth of a powerful tool that could expand access to care for millions of people. Think about it. A specialist in New York could help a patient in rural Montana who might otherwise wait months for an appointment. This need for a more streamlined process led to the development of a brilliant solution, a compact designed to cut through this red tape. So how does the IMLCC actually work? Think of it as a VIP pass for medical licensure. If you meet the eligibility requirements and hold a full, unrestricted medical license in a state that is part of the compact, we call this your state of principal licensure, or SPL. You can apply through the IMLCC. The Compact Commission then verifies your credentials, your background, and your qualifications just once. After you're approved, you can simply select which of the other participating states you want to be licensed in. The IMLCC then sends your verified information to those states, and they issue you a full license, often in a matter of days or weeks instead of months. This process dramatically simplifies things. It replaces the redundant, time-consuming task of submitting the same primary documents, like your medical school transcripts, exam scores, and residency completion certificates, to every single state board. The IMLCC does the heavy lifting of primary source verification for you. This is a huge deal. It means you spend less time wrestling with paperwork and more time focusing on what actually matters, building your practice, connecting with patients, and providing high-quality care. It's a system built on cooperation between states, all agreeing to a common standard to make life easier for physicians and, ultimately, to improve patient access to care. The benefits are clear. The most obvious one is time. What could take 6 months to a year through traditional channels can be accomplished in a fraction of the time through the compact. Then there's the reduction in administrative burden. One application, one set of primary documents, one streamlined process. This efficiency translates directly into cost savings as well. While there are fees associated with the IMLCC application, and for each state license you obtain, the time saved and the ability to start earning revenue from multiple states much faster makes it a financially sound investment for most physicians aiming for a broad telemedicine practice. Ultimately, the IMLCC empowers you to design a practice that truly transcends geographical boundaries. It gives you the flexibility to serve patients in a wide range of locations, whether you're targeting urban centers with high demand or underserved rural areas. This isn't just about convenience for you as a physician, it's about fundamentally changing how healthcare is delivered. Now, while the IMLCC is an incredible tool, there's a crucial detail we need to cover. Not every state is a member. The compact is a voluntary agreement, and as of today, a significant number of states have joined, but some have not. The list of participating states is constantly evolving, with new legislation being introduced all the time, so it's essential to check the official IMLCC website for the most current map. States like Arizona, Colorado, Michigan, and Wisconsin were among the early adopters, and many more have joined since. For physicians in these states, the path to a multi-state telemedicine practice is significantly more straightforward. Understanding which states are in and which are out is step one in your strategic planning. If your state of principal licensure, meaning the state where you live, practice, or are primarily licensed, is a member of the compact, you're in a great position. You can use the IMLCC to obtain licenses in all the other member states. This opens up a huge portion of the United States population to your practice. Before you do anything else, you need to pull up that map, find your home state, and see if it's highlighted. This single piece of information will largely dictate your initial licensure strategy and the immediate scope of your potential practice. So, what happens if your home state isn't part of the IMLCC? Or what if you need to get a license in a major non-participating state like California or Florida to make your business model work? Don't panic. This is a common scenario, and it doesn't close the door on your telemedicine career. It simply means you'll have to engage with the traditional direct-to-board licensure process for those specific states. It will require more time, more paperwork, and more patience, but it is absolutely doable. Millions of physicians have done it for decades before the compact even existed. It just requires a different level of planning and organization. Your first step is to treat each non-participating state as a separate project. Go directly to that state's medical board website. Every board has a section for applicants, and you'll find their specific application form, a list of required documents, and a detailed breakdown of their fees and timelines. You will have to gather all your primary source documents yourself, your medical school diploma, your USM, LE or COM, LEX scores, proof of residency training, and so on. You'll need to send these to the board directly, following their exact instructions. It's a more manual and often slower process, but it's the established official pathway. To manage this, I highly recommend getting hyper-organized. Create a spreadsheet to track your progress for each state. Note the application submission date, the fees paid, the required documents sent, and any communication you have with the board. Many physicians find it helpful to use credentialing services like the Federation Credentials Verification Service or FCVS. While this service has a fee, it can be a lifesaver. FCVS will store, verify, and maintain a portfolio of your primary credentials and can then send that verified portfolio directly to the medical boards you apply to, which can save you a significant amount of hassle and time in the long run. Think of this as a dual-pronged attack. If you're in an IMLCC state, use the compact to efficiently get licenses in all the other member states. That's your first wave. Then, for the high-priority, non-compact states that are critical to your practice, you launch individual, targeted campaigns using the traditional application process, potentially supported by a service like FCVS. Okay, we've talked about the why, the freedom, the flexibility, the future of medicine. We've tackled the what, the major hurdle of licensure, and the IMLCC solution. Now let's talk about the how. A goal without a plan is just a wish, and I want to give you a concrete, actionable plan to turn your goal of a successful telemedicine practice into a reality. I've broken down the entire process into a clear, step-by-step roadmap. This isn't just a random collection of tips. It's a structured sequence of actions designed to take you from where you are now to being a confident, competent, and successful full-time telemedicine physician. Think of this roadmap as the curriculum for your transition. Each step builds on the last, creating a solid foundation for your new career. We're going to cover everything from the absolute fundamentals of the technology and market to the advanced strategies for workflow management and avoiding burnout. We'll start with understanding the landscape, then move to the legal and technical setup, master the art of virtual patient care, and finally, fine-tune the business and personal aspects of your practice. Following these steps in order will ensure you don't miss any critical components and will help you build your practice on solid ground. Why is the structured, step-by-step approach so critical for this transition? Because building a telemedicine practice is like building any other business, but with the added complexity of medical regulations, new technologies, and a different mode of patient interaction. It's easy to get overwhelmed and try to do everything at once, researching platforms while applying for licenses, while trying to figure out billing codes. This scattered approach often leads to frustration, costly mistakes, and burnout before you even see your first patient. It's a recipe for failure, and I want you to succeed. A structured plan brings order to the chaos. It allows you to focus your energy on one critical area at a time, master it, and then move on to the next with confidence. It's about building momentum. By ticking off step 1, you gain the knowledge and confidence to tackle step 2. By successfully navigating licensure in step 2, you'll be motivated to set up your technology in step 3. This methodical progression prevents you from getting stuck and ensures that you're building your practice on a complete and stable foundation rather than one with dangerous gaps in it. Furthermore, this roadmap helps you manage risk. For examples, by fully understanding market demand and regulations in step 1. Before you spend thousands of dollars on licensure and technology in steps 2 and 3, you ensure you're making informed investments. You wouldn't buy an expensive surgical laser without first knowing there are patients who need the procedures it performs, right? The same logic applies here. The roadmap forces you to do your due diligence at each stage, minimizing financial risk and maximizing your chances of building a practice that is not only clinically sound but also financially viable and sustainable. So as we prepare to dive into step 1 in the next chapter, I want you to commit to this process. Don't skip ahead. Take the time to fully engage with each step. Use this roadmap as your guide. Print it out. Put it on your wall, and check off each step as you complete it. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the foundational knowledge that will become the bedrock of your entire telemedicine practice. Think of this as your preclinical years, but for your new digital career. You wouldn't just walk into an operating room without understanding anatomy, and you can't just log into a platform without understanding the core principles of telehealth. This means going beyond the surface-level idea of video calls. We're talking about the legal frameworks, the ethical considerations, and the specific technological requirements that make this all possible. It's about understanding the difference between synchronous and asynchronous care, the nuances of store and forward technology, and the critical importance of data security in a digital environment. This is where you build your confidence, not just in your medical expertise, but in your ability to deliver that expertise effectively through a screen. The first pillar is understanding the regulatory landscape, which, let's be honest, can feel like navigating a labyrinth. Every state has its own set of rules, and federal guidelines from agencies like HHS add another layer of complexity. You need to become fluent in concepts like the standard of care in a virtual setting. How do you establish it? And more importantly, how do you document that you've met it? You'll need to research your state's specific laws on prescribing controlled substances via telehealth, which can be particularly tricky. And then there's IPAA, which takes on a whole new dimension in the digital world. It's not just about a locked filing cabinet anymore. It's about encrypted data transmission, secure patient portals, and ensuring your home office setup doesn't inadvertently lead to a breach of patient privacy. Next, let's talk about the technology itself. It's more than just having a good webcam and a stable internet connection, though those are absolutely non-negotiable. You need to understand the software. What makes a platform truly IPAA compliant? Look for features like end-to-end encryption, secure data storage, and business associate agreements, BAAs. You should also explore the different types of platforms available. Some are integrated directly into an electronic health record system, which streamlines documentation and workflow beautifully. Others are standalone platforms that might offer more flexibility or specific features tailored to your specialty. Don't just pick the first one you see. Do your research, request demos, and think about which platform will make your life and your patients' lives easier in the long run. Finally, you must grasp the unique patient-physician dynamic in telehealth. The art of medicine doesn't disappear just because there's a screen between you and your patient. It evolves. Building rapport without the benefit of a physical handshake or direct eye contact requires a different set of skills. You need to be more intentional with your verbal and nonverbal cues. How do you convey empathy through your tone of voice? How do you use active listening to make a patient feel heard when you can't offer a reassuring touch on the shoulder? This is a crucial skill to develop. Understanding these fundamentals isn't just a box to check, it's what separates a physician who simply uses telemedicine from one who truly excels at it, building a practice that is both successful and deeply fulfilling. Once you've got a solid handle on the fundamentals, it's time to put on your business hat and analyze the market. This is a step that many physicians, myself included, can sometimes overlook because we're trained to focus on the patient in front of us, not on market trends. But in telemedicine, you're not just a clinician, you're also an entrepreneur. You need to understand where the demand is, which patient populations are actively seeking virtual care. Are they looking for primary care follow-ups, mental health counseling, dermatology consults, or endocrinology management? The beauty of telemedicine is its ability to bridge geographical gaps, but you still need to know who you're trying to reach and what they're looking for. This research will guide every decision you make, from marketing to service offerings. Start by looking at broad trends. We know that specialties like psychiatry, dermatology, and routine primary care have seen a massive surge in telehealth adoption. These fields lend themselves well to virtual consultations where a physical exam isn't always the primary diagnostic tool. But don't stop there. Think about your specific niche. If you're a cardiologist, perhaps there's a huge demand for virtual management of hypertension or follow-ups for stable heart failure patients using remote monitoring devices. If you're a pediatrician, maybe busy parents are desperate for on-demand virtual visits for common childhood illnesses. Use resources like market research reports, medical association publications, and even government health data to identify these pockets of unmet need. This data-driven approach will prevent you from launching a service that nobody's looking for. Now, let's get more granular and think about your target patient demographic. Who is your ideal virtual patient? Are they tech-savvy millennials in urban centers who value convenience above all else, or are they elderly patients in rural areas who have difficulty traveling to a physical clinic? Understanding your audience is key to tailoring your services and your communication style. For example, if you're targeting an older population, you'll need a platform that is incredibly simple and intuitive to use, and you might need to provide extra support to get them onboarded. If you're targeting busy professionals, you might emphasize the efficiency and time-saving aspects of your practice in your marketing materials. Creating a detailed patient persona can be an incredibly helpful exercise here. Finally, don't forget to analyze the competition. Who else is offering telemedicine services in your specialty and in your target geographic areas? I'm not saying this to discourage you, but to inform your strategy. See what they're doing well and identify where the gaps are. Perhaps other virtual practices have long wait times, or they don't offer services in the evenings or on weekends. Maybe their platforms are clunky, or their patient reviews mention a lack of personal connection. This is your opportunity to differentiate yourself. By understanding the existing market, you can carve out a unique value proposition. You can be the physician who offers unparalleled accessibility, a superior patient experience, or specialized expertise that no one else provides. This strategic analysis is what will elevate your practice from just another option to the preferred choice for patients. Okay, let's tackle what is often seen as the biggest bureaucratic beast in the telemedicine world, multi-state licensure. For those of you fortunate enough to be in a state that participates in the Interstate Medical Licensure Compact, or IMLCC, this process is significantly streamlined. Think of the IMLCC as a fast pass for getting licensed in multiple states. It's an agreement among participating state medical boards to simplify the licensing process for physicians who want to practice in more than one location. This is an absolute game changer for telemedicine, allowing you to expand your patient base beyond your home state's borders without drowning in endless paperwork for each individual application. It's a powerful tool for building a truly national practice. So, how does it work? The first step is to determine your eligibility. You must hold a full, unrestricted medical license in a state that is designated as your state of principal licensure, or SPL. This is typically the state where you live, where you practice the most, or where your employer is based. You also need to have graduated from an accredited medical school, completed ACG, ME, or AOA accredited graduate medical education, and passed each component of the USM, LE or COM, LEXUSA within 3 attempts. There are a few other criteria, like having a clean record with no disciplinary actions against your license. If you meet these requirements, you're in a great position to leverage the compact to its full potential, saving you hundreds of hours and immense frustration. The application process itself begins with a single application submitted to your SPL's medical board. You'll pay a one-time application fee, currently around $700, to the IMLCC. Your SPL board will then verify all your credentials, your identity, medical education, exam history, and background check. This is the heavy lifting part of the process, but the beauty is that it only has to be done once. Once your SPL verifies your information and confirms your eligibility, they will issue a letter of qualification. This letter is your golden ticket. It gets sent to the IMLCC, who then shares it with the medical boards of all the other compact states where you wish to be licensed. From there, the process accelerates dramatically. Instead of filling out a full, lengthy application for each and every state, you simply select the states you want licenses from and pay their respective licensure fees. The individual state boards, having received your verified letter of qualification, will then perform a final review and issue your license, often in a matter of days or weeks instead of the months it can take through the traditional route. This efficiency is the core benefit of the IMLCC. It transforms a daunting, repetitive, and time-consuming task into a manageable, centralized process, freeing you up to focus on what actually matters, preparing to see patients, and building your dream telemedicine practice across the country. Now, what if you live or want to practice in a state that is not part of the IMLCC? Don't despair. This doesn't mean your multi-state telemedicine dream is over. It just means you'll need to take a different, more traditional path. This is the scenic route of licensure, and it requires patience, organization, and a meticulous approach. You will need to apply for a full medical license in each individual state where you intend to see patients. This involves contacting each state's medical board directly, obtaining their specific application packet, and preparing for a much more involved process. Each state has its own unique requirements, fees, and timelines, so staying organized is absolutely paramount. Your first step is to create a master checklist or spreadsheet. For each target state, you'll need to track the application form, the required documents, the fees, the deadlines, and the contact information for the board. Common requirements include certified copies of your medical school diploma and transcripts, verification of your postgraduate training, exam score reports, and reference letters. Many states will also require a state-specific background check and jurisprudence exam, which tests your knowledge of that state's medical laws and regulations. This is where the real work comes in. You'll be spending a lot of time on the phone, sending emails, and using certified mail to ensure all your documents arrive safely. It's a marathon, not a sprint. To manage this complexity, consider using a third-party credentialing service. Companies like the Federation of State Medical Boards, or FSMB, offer the Federation Credentials Verification Service, or FCVS. While not a licensing body itself, FCVS can create a centralized, verified portfolio of your core credentials, including your identity, medical education, and training. You can then have this portfolio sent directly to the state boards you're applying to. This can save you a significant amount of time and effort, as it prevents you from having to request and send the same primary source documents over and over again. It's an investment, but for physicians applying to multiple non-IMLCC states, the time saved can be well worth the cost. Beyond licensure, there's also credentialing with insurance panels and hospitals if applicable. This is a separate but equally important process. Even with a license, you can't bill insurance for your services until you are credentialed with that specific payer. Each insurance company, including Medicare and Medicaid, has its own application process. This involves submitting your license, proof of malpractice insurance, DEA registration, and other professional information. Again, organization is key. Keep detailed records of which panels you've applied to, the status of your application, and any follow-up actions required. It's a painstaking process, but successfully navigating both licensure and credentialing is the essential administrative foundation for a financially viable and legally compliant telemedicine practice. Now we're getting to the exciting part, choosing the digital tools that will become your new virtual clinic. This is one of the most critical decisions you'll make. The platform you choose is not just a piece of software, it's the environment where you'll build relationships with your patients, conduct examinations, and deliver care. The number one non-negotiable feature you must look for is robust, ironclad HIPAA compliance. This is not the place to cut corners. Using a non-compliant platform like a standard consumer video chat app opens you and your patients up to massive privacy risks and could result in devastating legal and financial consequences. A truly compliant platform is designed specifically for healthcare, with security at its core. So what does HIPAA compliant actually mean in this context? It means the platform provider must be willing to sign a Business Associate Agreement, or BAA. This is a legally binding contract that outlines the provider's responsibility to protect patient health information. It also means the platform must have specific technical safeguards in place. Look for features like end-to-end encryption for all video and chat communications, ensuring that no one can intercept the data as it travels between you and your patient. It also means secure access controls, so only authorized users can enter a virtual visit and audit trails that log who accessed patient data and when. Do your due diligence and ask providers direct questions about their security protocols. Once you've selected your platform, it's time to create your physical workspace. Your home office is no longer just a place to do paperwork. It is your new exam room, your clinic, your professional headquarters. The environment you create has a direct impact on the quality of care you provide and the impression you make on your patients. It needs to be a space that is professional, private, and technologically optimized for virtual consultations. The goal is to create a seamless experience where the technology fades into the background, allowing the medical consultation to take center stage. This requires thoughtful planning of your physical setup, from your camera and lighting to your background and acoustics. Let's start with the visual elements, because what your patient sees matters. Position your camera at eye level. Looking down at a laptop camera is unflattering and can create a sense of distance. Use a stack of books or a laptop stand to get the height just right. Lighting is equally crucial. The best setup is to have your primary light source in front of you, not behind you. A window facing your desk is ideal. If that's not possible, invest in a simple ring light or a pair of small LED panels. This will illuminate your face clearly and eliminate distracting shadows, making it easier for patients to read your facial expressions and feel connected to you. Your background should be clean, simple, and professional. A tidy bookshelf, a neutral wall, or a subtle piece of art works well. Avoid personal clutter or anything that could be distracting. Next, let's talk about audio. Poor audio quality can be even more frustrating for a patient than a grainy video. Your computer's built-in microphone might be okay, but a dedicated external microphone will make a world of difference. A USB microphone is an affordable and easy-to-use option that will make your voice sound clear, rich, and professional. It's also critical to control the acoustics of your room. Conduct your visits in a room with a closed door to minimize background noise from family, pets, or household appliances. Soft furnishings like carpets, curtains, and even wall hangings can help absorb echo and improve the overall sound quality, creating a more intimate and confidential feeling consultation space. Finally, ensure your tech infrastructure is rock solid. A high-speed, reliable internet connection is the lifeblood of your practice. If possible, connect your computer directly to your router with an Ethernet cable for the most stable connection. Wi-Fi is convenient, but it's more susceptible to interference and dropouts. Consider having a backup plan, like a mobile hotspot, in case your primary internet goes down. A large, high-resolution monitor can also be a great investment, allowing you to have the patient's video feed, their electronic health record, and any other necessary resources open and visible at the same time. Investing in a professional setup demonstrates to your patients that you take telehealth seriously and are committed to providing them with the highest quality of care, even from a distance. All right, let's talk about one of the most critical and honestly one of the most interesting parts of this entire transition: communication. Step 4 is all about mastering patient communication and the virtual exam. In medicine, we call this the website manner, and it's a skill set that goes beyond just what you learned in medical school. You're not just a doctor on a screen, you are the patient's primary point of connection to their healthcare. Building trust without the physical presence of a handshake or a reassuring pat on the shoulder requires a very deliberate and thoughtful approach. It's about using your voice, your facial expressions, and your words to create a space that feels safe, professional, and genuinely caring, even through a digital interface. Think about the first few seconds of a virtual visit. This is your moment to set the tone for the entire encounter. Start with a warm, genuine smile and make direct eye contact with the camera, not just the screen. This small adjustment makes the patient feel like you're looking right at them. Introduce yourself clearly, confirm their identity, and then take a moment to establish a personal connection. Ask them how they're doing, not just about their symptoms, but about their day. This little bit of small talk helps to humanize the experience and moves you from being a disembodied expert on a screen to a real person who is there to help them. It's about breaking down that digital wall from the very first second. Active listening becomes even more crucial in a virtual setting. You don't have all the same nonverbal cues you'd get in an office, so you have to compensate. Lean in slightly towards the camera, nod as they speak, and use verbal affirmations like "I see," or "that makes sense," or "tell me more about that." It shows you're engaged and processing what they're saying. A key technique I use is to periodically summarize what the patient has told you. For example, "Okay, so just to make sure I'm understanding correctly, the pain started on Tuesday, it's a sharp sensation, and it gets worse when you lie down. Is that right?" This not only confirms the details, but also reassures the patient that they are being heard accurately and attentively. Finally, let's talk about managing the environment. Your background, your lighting, and your audio quality all contribute to your professional image and the patient's experience. A cluttered, dark, or noisy background can be incredibly distracting and can subconsciously erode the patient's confidence in the care they're receiving. Position yourself in a well-lit, quiet room with a simple, professional background. Test your microphone and camera beforehand to ensure everything is crystal clear. By controlling these environmental factors, you are non-verbally communicating that you take this consultation and their health very seriously. It's a sign of respect for the patient and the profession. Now for the virtual physical exam. This is where, honestly, a lot of physicians feel the most hesitation, but with the right techniques, it can be incredibly effective. You have to become a director, guiding the patient to be your hands and eyes. This requires clear, simple, and step-by-step instructions. Instead of just asking, where does it hurt? You need to be more specific. For example, guide them ice. Using one finger, can you point directly to the spot where the pain is most intense? Or gently press on that area with 2 fingers. Does that make the pain sharper or duller? You're essentially teaching them how to perform a self-assessment under your expert guidance, which can yield a surprising amount of valuable clinical information. For musculoskeletal complaints, you can guide patients through a range of motion tests. Have them stand up, if possible, and position their camera so you can see their whole body. You can demonstrate the movement yourself first, then have them mirror you. For example, I'm going to lift my arm out to the side like this. I want you to do the same and tell me if you feel any pain or limitation. For a dermatological issue, you'll need to instruct them on how to get good lighting on the area and how to use their device's camera to give you a clear, close-up view. It's really a partnership. You provide the medical knowledge and they provide the physical interaction with their own body, and together you uncover the diagnosis. Another powerful tool in your virtual exam toolkit is observation. You can learn so much just by carefully watching the patient. Observe their general appearance, their work of breathing, their level of comfort or distress, and how they move. Are they speaking in full sentences or are they short of breath? Do they wince when they move a certain way? Are they lethargic or alert? These observational skills, which you've honed over years of practice, are just as applicable in telemedicine. You have to be more intentional about looking for these cues, but they are there. It's about shifting your focus from what you can touch to what you can see and hear with heightened attention. Let's not forget the importance of patient-provided data. This is a huge advantage of modern telemedicine. Many patients have devices at home like blood pressure cuffs, glucometers, pulse oximeters, or even smartwatches that can track heart rate and ECGs. Before the visit, you can instruct them to have these readings ready. During the visit, you can guide them on how to take a measurement properly. This objective data helps to supplement your observational findings and adds a crucial layer of clinical information to your assessment. By integrating these home monitoring tools, you can make your virtual examination even more robust and data-driven, often rivaling what you could gather in a traditional office setting. Okay, so you've mastered the virtual bedside manner. Now let's move on to step 5 and talk about the engine that keeps your practice running smoothly: workflow, scheduling, and documentation. This isn't the most glamorous part of medicine, but getting it right is the secret to a sustainable, low-stress, and profitable telemedicine career. The goal here is to create a system that is so efficient it becomes almost invisible, allowing you to focus your mental energy on what truly matters: patient care. A disorganized digital workspace leads to missed appointments, billing errors, and ultimately physician burnout. We want to build a fortress of efficiency around your practice. Your first task is to choose the right digital tools, and this goes beyond just your video platform. You need a practice management system, or PMS, that integrates scheduling, billing, and your electronic health record, or EHR. Look for a cloud-based system designed specifically for telemedicine. These platforms often have features like automated appointment reminders via text and email, which dramatically reduce no-show rates. They also include secure patient portals where patients can fill out intake forms, upload documents, and send messages before the visit. This front-loading of administrative tasks saves you an incredible amount of time during the actual consultation, making each visit more clinically focused and efficient. Next, let's architect your schedule for success and sanity. The beauty of telemedicine is the flexibility it offers, but with great flexibility comes the need for great discipline. Don't fall into the trap of being always on. You must create a structured schedule with clearly defined blocks for different activities. Block out time for live video consultations, time for asynchronous chart review or store and forward visits, and, critically, dedicated administrative time for charting, reviewing labs, and answering messages. And please, I can't stress this enough, schedule actual breaks. A 10-minute break between patients to stand up, stretch, and reset your mind is not a luxury. It's a necessity for maintaining your focus and preventing decision fatigue throughout the day. Documentation in telemedicine requires a specific approach. While the core principles of a good medical note are the same, you need to add elements specific to the virtual encounter. Your note should always include a statement of consent for telemedicine, the location of both you and the patient during the visit, and a description of the limitations of the virtual exam. Many EHRs designed for telehealth have smart templates or macros that allow you to insert this standard information with a single click. Using these tools not only ensures compliance and medico-legal protection, but also speeds up your charting process significantly, freeing up more time for patient care or for yourself at the end of the day. Let's dive a little deeper into documentation, because efficiency here is a game changer. Concurrent charting is a skill you absolutely want to develop. This means documenting the patient's history and your thought process in the EHA while you are talking to them. This might feel awkward at first, but with practice, it becomes second nature. It requires you to be transparent with the patient. You can say something like, "I'm just making some notes here in your chart as we speak to make sure I capture all the important details accurately." This approach ensures your notes are completed immediately after the visit, eliminating that dreaded mountain of charts to finish at the end of the day. It's the single best way to leave work at work. Explore the power of templates and smart phrases within your EHR. You don't need to reinvent the wheel for every common complaint. You can create templates for conditions you see frequently, like urinary tract infections, upper respiratory infections, or medication refills. These templates can pre-populate the common history of present illness questions, review of systems, and your standard treatment plan, which you can then quickly customize for the individual patient. This isn't about cookie-cutter medicine, it's about creating a highly efficient starting point. It reduces clicks, minimizes typing, and ensures your documentation is consistently thorough and complete, which is great for both patient care and billing. Now, let's talk about a major component of modern telemedicine workflow, asynchronous care. This is any care that doesn't happen in real time, like secure messaging or store and forward consultations, where a patient sends images or data for you to review later. You need to build a specific workflow for managing this. Dedicate specific blocks of time in your schedule each day to address your asynchronous inbox. This prevents you from being constantly interrupted by messages and allows you to give them your full attention. Set clear expectations with patients about your response time. For example, that you will respond to all messages within 24 business hours. This manages patient expectations and protects your personal time. Finally, consider leveraging technology to streamline your prescription management process. E-prescribing is a must. It should be seamlessly integrated into your EHR, allowing you to send prescriptions directly to the patient's preferred pharmacy with just a few clicks. This is not only a huge time saver, but also significantly reduces the risk of prescription errors compared to handwritten or phoned-in scripts. Familiarize yourself with the regulations around prescribing controlled substances via telemedicine, as these can vary by state and are constantly evolving. A smooth, reliable e-prescribing workflow is a cornerstone of an efficient and safe telemedicine practice, and it's a feature patients have come to expect. Welcome to Step 6, a topic that can make even the most seasoned physicians a little nervous: billing, insurance, and compliance. But I promise you, we are going to demystify this. Getting paid for your hard work is obviously essential, and in telemedicine, it requires understanding a unique set of codes, policies, and regulations. The good news is that since 2020, billing for telehealth has become much more standardized, but you still need to be diligent to ensure you're coding correctly and maximizing your reimbursement. Think of this not as a burden, but as learning the financial language of your new practice environment. It's a skill that pays dividends, literally. The first concept you need to master is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous billing codes. Synchronous visits, which are real-time audio-video consultations, are typically billed using the same evaluation and management, or E&M, CPT codes as in-person visits, like 99213 or 99214. However, you must add a specific telehealth modifier, such as modifier 95, to indicate the service was provided via telehealth. You also need to use the correct place of service code, typically 02 or 10, depending on the payer. Getting these small details right is the difference between a paid claim and a denied one. It's absolutely critical to check each payer's specific requirements, as they can still vary. For asynchronous or store and forward services, where you review patient data or images at a later time, there are different sets of codes. These are often called interprofessional consultation codes or specific e-visit codes. For example, CPT codes 99421 through 99423 are used for patient-initiated digital communications. These are time-based codes, so your documentation must support the cumulative time you spent on the interaction over a 7-day period. This is an area of revenue that many physicians leave on the table simply because they aren't aware these codes exist or don't know how to use them properly. Don't be one of them. Learn these codes and get compensated for all the work you do. To stay on top of all this, you need a system. I strongly recommend creating a billing cheat sheet for your practice. This document should list your most commonly used CPT codes, the corresponding telehealth modifiers, and any specific requirements for your top 5 insurance payers. Keep this document updated, as billing rules can and do change. You can also consider hiring a professional medical biller or using a billing service that specializes in telemedicine. While this comes at a cost, the expertise they provide can often pay for itself by increasing your collection rate and saving you countless hours of administrative headaches, allowing you to focus on your patients. Billing correctly is one half of the equation. The other half is ensuring you are in full compliance with all relevant laws and regulations. Compliance isn't just about avoiding audits. It's about practicing ethically and protecting your medical license. The foundational law here in the US is HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This is non-negotiable. All of your technology platforms, your video service, your EHR, your patient messaging system must be HIPAA compliant. This means they have the necessary security measures like end-to-end encryption, and that you have a signed business associate agreement or BAA with each vendor. This is your proof that they are contractually obligated to protect your patient's data. Beyond HIPAA, you must be acutely aware of state-specific telehealth laws. These laws dictate everything from what constitutes a valid physician-patient relationship to what services can be provided via telehealth and the regulations around prescribing. Some states, for example, may require an initial in-person visit before certain types of care can be provided virtually, although this is becoming less common. The Center for Connected Health Policy, or CCHP, is an excellent resource that provides up-to-date information on the laws and reimbursement policies for all 50 states. Make it a habit to check their website regularly to stay informed about any changes in the states where you are licensed. Let's talk about informed consent, which takes on a special dimension in telemedicine. Before you even begin a virtual visit, you must obtain and document the patient's consent to receive care via telehealth. This consent process should explicitly inform the patient that the visit is being conducted virtually, discuss the potential benefits and limitations or risks of telemedicine, and confirm their location. You should also explain your privacy and security measures and give them the option to stop the virtual visit and seek in-person care at any time. Documenting this consent in your note for every single encounter is a critical medico-legal safeguard. Finally, a word on fraud, waste, and abuse. Telemedicine, like any part of healthcare, is susceptible to improper billing practices. It is your responsibility to ensure your billing accurately reflects the services you provided. Never bill for a longer or more complex visit than what actually occurred. Your documentation must robustly support the level of service you are billing for. Be meticulous in documenting your time if you are billing time-based codes. By maintaining the highest standards of integrity in your billing and compliance practices, you not only protect yourself and your license, but also contribute to the long-term trust and viability of telemedicine as a whole. All right, let's talk about something incredibly important, something that often gets pushed to the side until it's too late: burnout. We all went into medicine to help people, fueled by passion and a desire to make a difference. But the reality of modern practice, whether it's in a busy clinic or even in the seemingly flexible world of telemedicine, can be draining. The constant pressure to the administrative burden, the emotional weight of patient care, it all adds up. We're conditioned to be resilient, to push through, but that resilience has a limit. Recognizing the early signs of burnout isn't a sign of weakness. It's a critical act of self-preservation and professional responsibility. Telemedicine offers a fantastic opportunity to redesign our professional lives, but it's not a magical cure for burnout. In fact, it can introduce its own unique stressors if we're not careful. The lines between home and work can blur until they're non-existent. You might find yourself checking patient messages at 10 p.m. or squeezing in one more consultation during what was supposed to be your family dinner. The lack of physical separation from your office can lead to a state of being perpetually on. This digital tether can be just as exhausting as the physical demands of a hospital, creating a new kind of mental fatigue that creeps up on you slowly but surely. This is why proactively establishing boundaries is non-negotiable for a sustainable career in telemedicine. It's not about working less, it's about working smarter and protecting your own well-being so you can continue to provide high-quality care. Think of it like this. On an airplane, they tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. The same principle applies here. You cannot effectively care for your patients if your own mental and emotional resources are completely depleted. Setting firm start and end times for your workday is the first most crucial step in putting on that mask. So, what does this look like in practice? It means closing the laptop and truly disconnecting. It means turning off work-related notifications on your phone outside of your designated hours. It means communicating these boundaries clearly to your patients and your platform, setting expectations about response times for non-urgent messages. This isn't just about avoiding burnout, it's about modeling healthy behavior for your patients and reclaiming your personal time. Your time to rest, recharge, and engage with your life outside of medicine is just as important as the time you spend in virtual consultations. It's the fuel that keeps your professional engine running. Let's get into the practical, actionable steps you can take right now. First, dedicate a specific physical space for your work. Don't just work from your couch one day and your kitchen table the next. Having a dedicated home office, even if it's just a corner of a room, creates a powerful psychological boundary. When you enter that space, you're at work. When you leave it at the end of the day, you are physically and mentally clocking out. This simple act of creating a separate work zone helps your brain transition more effectively between professional duties and personal life, preventing the two from bleeding into each other. Next, let's talk about scheduling. Your calendar is your best friend in the fight against burnout. Don't just block out time for patient appointments, schedule your breaks with the same level of commitment. Put a 15-minute break in your calendar after every few consultations to stand up, stretch, grab a glass of water, or just look out the window. And definitely schedule a real protected lunch break. Don't eat at your desk while charting. Step away. This isn't lost time, it's an investment in your focus and energy for the rest of the day. These micro breaks prevent the cumulative fatigue that leads to end-of-day exhaustion and long-term burnout. Beyond the workday structure, it's essential to cultivate hobbies and interests completely unrelated to medicine. What did you enjoy before medical school consumed your life? Maybe it was painting, hiking, playing a musical instrument, or joining a sports league. Reconnecting with these activities is vital for your mental health. They provide a different kind of fulfillment and a necessary escape from the clinical mindset. They remind you that your identity is more than just doctor. This holistic sense of self is a powerful buffer against the professional stress and emotional exhaustion that can so easily take over our lives if we let it. Finally, never underestimate the power of your peer network. The potential for isolation is a real challenge in faceless telemedicine. You don't have the built-in camaraderie of a hospital lounge or a group practice. So, you have to create it intentionally. Join online physician communities, participate in virtual grand rounds, or form a small peer support group with other telemedicine doctors. Sharing experiences, discussing challenging cases, or just venting about a frustrating tech issue with people who get it is incredibly therapeutic. This sense of community combats isolation and reminds you that you are not alone on this journey. Now, I want to ground all this advice in a real-world example. Let me tell you about Dr. Sarah, a family physician who I think embodies the potential of this career path. For over a decade, Dr. Sarah worked in a busy traditional outpatient clinic. She loved her patients and the intellectual challenge of medicine, but the system was wearing her down. She was spending more time on paperwork than with patients, battling with insurance companies, and feeling the immense pressure of seeing a high volume of patients every single day. The dream she had in medical school felt like it was slipping away, replaced by administrative burdens and the early signs of serious burnout. Her turning point came after a particularly grueling week where she barely saw her family. She realized that the current path wasn't sustainable, not for her health or for the quality of care she wanted to provide. That's when she started seriously researching telemedicine. Initially, she was skeptical. Could she really build the same rapport with patients through a screen? Would the technology be reliable? Was it possible to make a full-time living without the infrastructure of a large clinic? These were all valid concerns, the same ones many of you probably have right now. She decided to take it one step at a time, starting by getting licensed in a few neighboring states. The transition wasn't an overnight success. Dr. Sarah started by dedicating one day a week to telemedicine while still working at her clinic. This allowed her to get comfortable with the platforms, develop her virtual website manner, and build a small patient panel without the pressure of immediately replacing her full income. She focused on her niche, providing ongoing care for patients with chronic conditions like diabetes and hypertension, which are perfectly suited for regular virtual check-ins. This gradual approach was key. It allowed her to learn the ropes and build her confidence before making the full leap. After about 6 months, she had built a solid foundation. She had a steady stream of telemedicine patients, she was proficient with the technology, and most importantly, she felt a renewed sense of purpose and control over her career. She finally made the decision to leave her traditional practice and go full-time with telemedicine. It was a scary leap of faith, but it was one she felt prepared for. Once she went full-time, Dr. Sarah really leaned into the strategies we just discussed. She set up a dedicated home office and established strict work hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. When she closed her office door at the end of the day, work was officially over. This simple boundary was transformative. She was able to be fully present with her family in the evenings, something that had been nearly impossible before. She was no longer charting late into the night or taking work calls during dinner. She was in control of her schedule for the first time in her professional life, and the impact on her mental health was immediate and profound. She also discovered that telemedicine actually enhanced her ability to connect with patients. Without the time pressures of a traditional clinic, she could have longer, more in-depth conversations. Seeing patients in their home environment often gave her valuable clinical insights she would have otherwise missed. She built strong, trusting relationships and received overwhelmingly positive feedback from patients who appreciated the convenience and the personalized attention. She mastered the art of virtual communication, learning to pick up on nonverbal cues and express empathy effectively through the screen, proving her initial fears completely unfounded. Of course, her journey wasn't without challenges. She had to navigate the complexities of multi-state billing and insurance reimbursement. She dealt with the occasional technology glitch and had to patiently guide less tech-savvy patients through the process. But because she wasn't stretched thin and exhausted, she had the mental energy to tackle these problems systematically. She joined an online forum for telemedicine physicians, which became an invaluable resource for practical advice and moral support. This community helped her troubleshoot issues and reminded her that she was part of a growing movement of physicians reshaping the future of healthcare. Today, Dr. Sarah runs a thriving, multi-state telemedicine practice entirely from her home. She earns a comfortable living, has a flexible schedule that allows her to travel and pursue her hobbies, and most importantly, she's rediscovered her love for medicine. Her story is a powerful testament to the fact that a successful and fulfilling career in telemedicine is not just a fantasy. It is an achievable reality for physicians who are willing to be strategic, adaptable, and intentional about designing a practice that works for them. Her success isn't about escaping medicine, it's about reimagining it. All right, let's get real. While telemedicine offers incredible freedom and flexibility, it's not always a smooth ride. One of the most significant hurdles we face as physicians is what I call the digital divide. This isn't just about your patient having a spotty internet connection, though that's certainly part of it. It's a much broader issue that encompasses a patient's comfort level with technology, to their access to the necessary hardware. You might have the most sophisticated, user-friendly platform in the world, but if your patient is trying to connect on a decade-old smartphone with a cracked screen, the consultation is already on shaky ground. We have to be prepared for these scenarios and have a plan B, and even a plan C, ready to go. So, what do we do when technology glitches threaten to derail a patient encounter? The first step is to stay calm and project confidence. If you start getting flustered, your patient will pick up on that anxiety, which can erode their trust in the entire process. Have a pre-prepared script for these moments. Something simple like, "It looks like we're having a small technical issue, but don't worry, we'll get it sorted out. Let's try reconnecting, and if that doesn't work, I'll give you a call on the phone number we have on file to troubleshoot." This reassures the patient that you are in control and that their care is still the top priority, even when the tech isn't cooperating. This proactive approach turns a potential disaster into a minor hiccup. Another major challenge that many physicians, including myself, have experienced when transitioning to telemedicine is the feeling of professional isolation. The traditional hospital or clinic environment is a bustling ecosystem. You have those water cooler moments, the quick curbside consults in the hallway, the shared camaraderie in the doctor's lounge. These informal interactions are more than just social. They are a vital part of our professional development and mental well-being. When you're working from a home office, staring at a screen all day, that natural sense of community can evaporate, leaving you feeling like you're practicing on an island. This can lead to burnout and a sense of detachment from the very profession you love. To combat this, you have to be incredibly intentional about building and maintaining your professional network. It won't happen organically anymore. You need to actively seek it out. Schedule regular virtual coffee chats with colleagues. These don't have to be long, formal meetings. A quick 15-minute video call to discuss a challenging case or just to check in can make a world of difference. It recreates that sense of connection and shared experience that is so easy to lose when working remotely. Think of it as prescribing yourself a dose of collegial interaction. It's preventative medicine for your own career satisfaction and mental health. Joining online physician communities is another powerful tool in your arsenal against isolation. There are numerous platforms, from private Facebook groups and specialty-specific forums to dedicated networking apps for medical professionals. These digital spaces can be a lifeline. They provide a forum to ask clinical questions, share practice management tips, discuss the latest research, and vent about the unique frustrations of telemedicine. Engaging in these communities helps you realize that you're not alone in your challenges. Seeing that other respected physicians are grappling with the same issues is incredibly validating and fosters a powerful sense of solidarity that transcends physical distance. Finally, don't underestimate the importance of attending virtual conferences and webinars. While they may not fully replicate the experience of an in-person event, they are essential for staying current and feeling connected to the broader medical world. Make an effort to participate actively. Ask questions in the Q&A sessions, engage in the chat forums, and connect with other attendees on professional networking sites like LinkedIn afterward. These events are not just about earning CME credits. They are opportunities to recharge your intellectual batteries, spark new ideas, and remind yourself that you are part of a vast, dynamic, and supportive professional community, even if you're seeing patients from your spare bedroom. Becoming a successful full-time telemedicine physician isn't just a dream, it's a tangible, achievable reality for those willing to adapt and innovate. But it requires more than just mastering new technology or understanding multi-state licensure. It demands a fundamental mindset shift. You have to move from thinking of telemedicine as a temporary fix or a lesser form of care to embracing it as a powerful, legitimate, and often superior way to connect with and treat patients. This is about seeing the possibilities, not the limitations. It's about recognizing that you can deliver compassionate, high-quality care through a screen, and in many cases, you can do it more efficiently and with greater reach than ever before. This journey starts with a deep personal commitment to lifelong learning. The landscape of digital health is constantly evolving. New platforms emerge, regulations change, and best practices are updated. What works today might be obsolete tomorrow. Therefore, you must cultivate a mindset of curiosity and adaptability. You need to be proactive about seeking out new information, whether it's through online courses, medical journals focused on digital health, or peer discussion groups. Viewing your telemedicine practice as a dynamic, evolving entity, rather than a static setup, is the key to long-term success and relevance in this exciting and rapidly growing field of medicine. Part of this mindset shift involves redefining what patient connection means. In a traditional setting, we often rely on physical cues, a handshake, a reassuring touch on the shoulder. In telemedicine, we have to become masters of a different set of communication skills. This means honing your active listening, paying close attention to facial expressions and tone of voice, and learning to create a warm, empathetic environment through the screen. You must be more deliberate in your communication, verbalizing your empathy, and ensuring the patient feels heard and understood. It's about proving that compassionate care is not confined to the four walls of an exam room. Ultimately, embarking on this path is an act of empowerment. You are taking control of your career, so designing a practice that aligns with your professional goals and personal values. It's about creating a work-life balance that is sustainable and prevents the burnout that is so rampant in our profession. This isn't just a career change, it's a lifestyle redesign. By embracing the telemedicine model, you're not just adapting to the future of medicine, you are actively building it. You are a pioneer, shaping a new paradigm of healthcare delivery that is more accessible, patient-centered, and fulfilling for the physician. And that is an incredibly exciting position to be in. So, I want to encourage you right now to take that first concrete step. Don't let this video just be another piece of content you consume. Let it be the catalyst for real action. The journey from a traditional practice to a thriving telemedicine career can feel overwhelming, like standing at the base of a huge mountain. But remember, every successful climb begins with a single step. Your first step could be as simple as researching your state's medical board policies on telehealth, or exploring the IMLCC website to see if you're eligible. It's about breaking down this big goal into small, manageable actions that build momentum. To help you get started on the right foot, I've put together a valuable resource for you. I've created a comprehensive, free checklist that distills the key steps we've discussed today into an actionable plan. This Faceless Telemedicine Success Checklist covers everything from licensure and technology setup to patient communication strategies and compliance. It's designed to be your roadmap, to keep you organized and focused as you navigate this transition. Think of it as your personal guide, ensuring you don't miss any critical details along the way. It's a tool to turn your ambition into a structured, achievable plan. Downloading this checklist is easy. All you have to do is click the link in the description below this video. There's no catch, no hidden fees. It's my gift to you to support you on your journey. I genuinely believe in the power of telemedicine to transform not only our healthcare system, but also the lives of physicians like you. I want to see you succeed, to build a practice that brings you professional fulfillment and personal freedom. This checklist is a practical tool designed to help you do just that. Don't just think about it. Click the link and download it right now while the motivation is fresh. Thank you so much for watching and for investing this time in your future. I truly hope this guide has provided you with the clarity and confidence to move forward. The world needs more dedicated, innovative physicians like you who are willing to embrace the future of healthcare. Your skills are in high demand, and the opportunity to make a massive impact through telemedicine is immense. So, go out there, take that first step, and start building the practice of your dreams. Here's to your telemedicine success. I'll be rooting for you every step of the way. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. The transition to telemedicine is more than a career move, it's a personal evolution. It will challenge you to learn new skills, to communicate in different ways, and to rethink your very definition of patient care. There will be moments of uncertainty and frustration, times when a technical glitch feels like an insurmountable obstacle. But on the other side of those challenges lies a level of professional autonomy and personal satisfaction that is truly profound. You are stepping into a role that is at the cutting edge of medical innovation, directly shaping how healthcare will be delivered for generations to come. Remember the story of Dr. Sarah and countless others who have successfully made this leap. They are not superhuman. They are physicians just like you who saw an opportunity to practice medicine on their own terms and had the courage to pursue it. They followed a structured plan, they were persistent in the face of setbacks, and they never lost sight of their ultimate goal, to provide excellent care while building a sustainable and fulfilling life. Their success is a testament that this path is not just possible, but incredibly rewarding. You have the same potential within you. The resources and strategies we've discussed today are your starting blocks. The checklist in the description is your first practical tool, but the most critical ingredient is your own determination. Stay curious, stay resilient, and most importantly, stay connected to your patients, to your colleagues, and to your own reasons for choosing this incredible profession in the first place. The future of medicine is not something that just happens to us. It is something that we, as physicians, have the power and the responsibility to create. Your journey into telemedicine is a vital part of that creation story. Thank you again for joining me. If you found this guide helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content designed to empower physicians, and share it with a colleague who might also be considering this path. Every click helps us reach and support more doctors who are ready to redefine their careers. Your engagement fuels this community, and together we can all navigate the exciting future of medicine. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay inspired, and keep making a difference.